Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Survivor Series 2020 review. Obviously, this is the final Survivor Series for The Undertaker, 30 years in the making. Totally awesome that a guy would be dedicated to a product for that long, but also kind of an interesting thing in that really the whole show was built around that reality. And I mean, I don't know that if you weren't an Undertaker fan, or if you didn't care about that particular thing, did you need to see this show? Probably not. Nothing happened storyline wise that was even remotely noteworthy to the next bit of story. So, in that, it was a completely lame duck kind of situation. And I mean, ultimately, it's really a sad bit of affairs. Obviously, The Undertaker's final farewell does deserve its own spotlight, and to give it 35 minutes on the end of the show is noteworthy, although it really didn't amount to anything other than an emotional series of moments that would have been better served for, um, you know, I guess waiting for people to be part of that process. Um, they did have one inconsequential pre-show match, kickoff show. The Miz wins the Battle Royal in 12 and a quarter minutes. Dominic gets rid of um, John Morrison about 30 seconds into the match. Kalisto and Rey Mysterio. They do have an exchange, but they get attacked by Benjamin and Alexander. Alexander gets rid of Kalisto. Ziggler eliminates Mysterio, which I don't know that does anything for anybody. Ziggler didn't need the rub. Angel Garza gets rid of Carrillo. Carrillo hasn't been around consistently in a while. Hurt Business gets rid of Garza, which I don't know if that leads anywhere future-wise. Ricochet gets rid of Alexander, which makes sense. And, that's a suplex on the apron spot deal. Benjamin gets rid of Ricochet. Maybe you can get a story out of that somewhere. And Robert Roode gets rid of Murphy. Ziggler, who was wearing a hat, loses his hat in the middle of this foray. Dominic eliminates Robert Roode and Ziggler. Nakamura gets rid of Apollo Crews, who hasn't been out there. Final four are Jeff Hardy, The Miz, Dominic, and Chad Gable. Gable eliminates Hardy. Miz hits some kicks, but Mysterio avoids elimination. Mysterio thinks he eliminates The Miz, but the referee says Miz isn't eliminated because he rolls back into the ring. And he was only kicked under the bottom ropes. Gable tosses Mysterio around with some suplexes. Miz waits outside for his right spot. Mysterio hits a 619, and he eliminates Gable. Dominic thinks he's won. Miz comes in and eliminates Mysterio. The guy that's been with the company for more than a decade and a half doesn't need the heat of a Battle Royal win on a throwaway show, but they do it anyway because, well, they don't care about building new stars. Anyway, Baron Corbin confronts Kevin Owens in the back, and that leads to, honestly, nothingness. We open with the 5-on-5 men's elimination match, which is Team Raw, AJ Styles, Riddle, Keith Lee, Braun Strowman, and Sheamus. How did Sheamus end up here? Against Team SmackDown, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, Otis, Seth Rollins, and Baron Corbin. 3 good workers and 2 guys who, does it? I mean, do they really need to be there? Just eliminations point. Sheamus gets rid of Rollins. Styles gets rid of Owens. Riddle gets rid of Corbin. Strowman gets rid of Otis. And Keith Lee eliminates Jey Uso. Now for the match itself. Keith Lee has new music, which I guess means they're going to push him more. New music usually means this. Anyway. And then Corbin and Uso get an early advantage over Styles. But he gets Riddle in, which leads to Riddle and Otis, which some people liked their confrontation. I did not. Owens gets in and goes after Riddle and goes after his bare feet. More specifically, he headbutts Riddle in the foot in some sort of weird ritual type. I don't even, why would you headbutt a guy in the foot? That doesn't seem smart. Anyway, Riddle tags in Sheamus. Rollins asks to be tagged in. Rollins looks at his team and says, for the greater good. He falls to his knees in front of Sheamus. Sheamus gives him a brogue kick and eliminates him. Team SmackDown is unhappy, and Rollins is called a piece of trash by Kevin Owens. SmackDown team had a discussion. Strowman runs them over. Strowman yells at his team that they need to work together. Owens goes nuts, gives stunners to Lee, Riddle, and Sheamus. Styles catches him with a phenomenal forearm, gets the elimination. Corbin almost eliminates Styles, but he is saved by his teammates. Riddle hits a floating bro to eliminate Corbin. Otis goes nuts and throws some suplexes, including one on Keith Lee. Otis hits a power slam on Strowman, and then Riddle distracts him. Strowman nails a running power slam to eliminate Otis. So basically, you've got two larger guys bouncing off each other, literally. Anyway, Uso superkick Styles off the top rope. Lee blind tags in. Uso doesn't notice this. Lee catches him with a spirit bomb, gets the win. Team Raw sweeps Team SmackDown, and Team Raw celebrates together after the match as though they were ever friends. Anyway, 14 minutes is the next match, which is the SmackDown Tag Champs, the Street Profits, defeating the Raw Tag Champs, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, as is with all the title matches tonight. None of the titles are actually on the line because, well, this is a throwaway show and no one needs to care. Big E comes out with Kingston and Woods, but then he leaves. There's Gears of War outfits, and they play a trailer to the game. Street Profits cut a promo before entering. They acknowledge The Undertaker. They want to start their own legacy. They're excited. Street Profits are in control of the match early. Kingston hits a dive and takes over, then makes fun of the Street Profits. Ford hits a DDT before tagging Dawkins, who hits suplexes on both of his opponents. Street Profits hit some double teams, and then we see a sliced breads off Dawkins' body as a launching pad. New Day hits a midnight hour on Ford for near fall. Kingston's frustrated, but there is a series of 3 boom drops, but Ford gets out of that. Dawkins gives Kingston a spine buster. Ford hits a frog splash, but he takes too long to go for the cover. Kingston kicks out. Kingston gives Ford the SOS. Dawkins breaks up the cover, and Street Profits finish off Kingston with an electric chair diving blockbuster combo for the win. I mean, decent match. This is the first time I've seen the Street Profits where I actually went, hey, they have something. And I know I'm late to the party. I haven't seen them in a way that I really cared. 7 3/4 minute match is next. Bobby Lashley with the Hurt Business defeating Sami Zayn, U.S. title, Intercontinental title. are squared off here, or the champions of respective same, with no championships again on the line. Relatively uneventful match. Lashley dominates at least 80%, if not more, of the match. He wins with the Hurt Lock. Zayn spends the majority of the match running away and also tries to get the rest of the Hurt Business to attack him, but that would get Lashley disqualified, so they didn't. And then ultimately Zayn gets a few near falls, but ends up tapping to the Hurt Lock. Jimmy Uso with Jay outside of Reigns' locker room. Reigns isn't happy that they're still speaking. Jimmy defended him, saying it's 5 against 1, and Reigns doesn't care. He told him to leave. Reigns basically said that Jay let him down and he doesn't want to be in his presence anymore. SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks defeated Raw Women's Champion Asuka in a non-title match in just over 13 minutes. This was really, really good, and Sasha winning was both surprising, but also necessary for her character development. Banks is in control of the match early. Asuka makes a comeback, hits a hip attack and a Shining Wizard. Asuka uses some kicks, and then Banks is out of the way. She applies an abdominal stretch, and then Asuka sends Banks off the apron with a hip attack. Asuka catches her with a code breaker, and Banks avoids the third or fourth hip attack of the match, and hits a backstabber for a near fall. Banks hits a double knee into the corner and applies a crossface. Asuka goes for a reversal into the Asuka lock. Banks slips out, and Asuka follows with another codebreaker. Asuka kicks Banks in the head, but Asuka waits too long. Banks catches her with a roll-up and a pinfall. And the match was good. Banks celebrates, and Asuka is in shock. The gobbledygooker is distracted by Birdseed. Yes, Birdseed. Tozawa had put it out and manages to schoolboy him to win the 24/7 title. Truth pins Tozawa, wins the belt back for like the 50th time. Anyway, 5-on-5 women's match. They gave this an abysmal 23 and a half minutes. Anyway, this is a 5-on-5. Team Raw, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lana, Lacey Evans, and Peyton Royce defeated SmackDown, Bayley, Bianca Belair, Natalya, Ruby Riott, and Liv Morgan. Royce eliminates Bayley. Natalya eliminates Royce. Evans eliminates Natalya. Baszler eliminates Riott. Morgan eliminates Evans. Jax and Liv Morgan. Or Jax eliminates Morgan. And then Bianca eliminates Shayna Baszler. And Lana wins after Bianca Belair and Nia Jax are eliminated due to a double countout to close the match. So yes, Lana, who does virtually nothing in the match, actually spends her night on the winner's side of things. Everyone on the SmackDown side wins blue and black gear, and everyone on Raw wins red and black gear. As if the team deal matters, Belair and Natalya use double team maneuvers, and then Belair basically shows her power a few times. Baszler tags in, and the announcers basically remind everybody that she won the main event last year over Becky Lynch. Jax tags in and goes after several members of the SmackDown team, and Lana tags herself in. Natalya tags in. Lana manages to get a minor advantage. Lana wants to tag out, but no one wants to tag her. Jax finally tags herself in. They yelled at Lana, tells her to stand in the corner, and she does. Uh, she stands in the corner and almost cries for the next very long little while. Belair presses Royce, drops her over the turnbuckle. Um, they basically made this look like Undertaker's Snake Eyes maneuver. Bayley tries to go for a dive. It doesn't go well. Royce catches her with a roundhouse kick and suplexed her onto a pile. It looked awful, and poor Bayley looked like she just about died and or got seriously hurt. Anyway, Royce gives Bayley a spinning brainbuster for a pinfall elimination. Royce goes after Natalya. Natalya gets an assist from a teammate, and she ends up using the sharpshooter, and Royce taps out for the elimination. Natalya has Baszler in the sharpshooter. Evans gives her the woman's right to eliminate her. Evans gives Belair a Spanish fly off the top. Riot Squad break up that cover. Why Belair isn't protected completely, I don't know. Riot Squad used some double teams on Jax. Baszler tags herself in. Baszler put Riot in the clutch. Riot rolls into a pinfall attempt. Riot had her beat, but the ref is distracted. Baszler still had the hold on and locked in. Baszler lets go and covers Riot for a pinfall elimination. Morgan gets rid of Evans with a crucifix bomb, and Morgan goes after Jax, but Jax eliminates her after a vicious-looking Samoan drop. Belair is the final member of Team SmackDown against Jax, Baszler, and Lana. Belair goes nuts. Jax gives her a power slam and a leg drop for near fall that did not look friendly. Belair drops Jax out of the ring. Baszler tags herself back in. Belair tries a handspring elbow, gets caught in the clutch, and that little spot looks pretty cool. Belair tries to fight to her feet, gets a rope break. Jax grabs Belair and wants to put her through the announce table, but she gets pushed into the steps instead. Belair sends her over the barricade, but Belair and Jax are eliminated, and that leads to Lana being the sole survivor. And Jax is less than happy with this. This was a complete waste of time and energy. Then we move to the Universal Champion Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman defeating WWE Champion Drew McIntyre in just under 25 minutes. Basically, they are face-to-face right before the match. They go for holds early, and McIntyre uses a big shoulder and sends Roman to the outside. Strikes by McIntyre. And then Reigns tosses McIntyre into the steel steps. They piped in booing sounds for this. McIntyre aggressively kicks out at a 2 count. Reigns follows with knees and vertical suplexes. Reigns hits another comeback attempt with a clothesline. McIntyre back with a clothesline of his own. Some suplexes and neckbreaker. But Reigns blocks this. McIntyre hits a Future Shock DDT and hit a Samoan drop for near fall. McIntyre blocks a Superman punch and hits a spine buster of his own. McIntyre sends Reigns into the post, and Reigns makes fun of McIntyre when they're back in the ring. McIntyre headbutts him. They exchange boots, and McIntyre gets another Superman Future Shock DDT for near fall. McIntyre goes for a Claymore kick, doesn't get it. Reigns finally hits a Superman punch. Reigns tries a guillotine. McIntyre suplexes him. Reigns boots McIntyre before sending him into the post. McIntyre goes into a Kimura. Reigns gets a rope break. McIntyre goes after Reigns on the outside. Reigns gives him a Samoan drop on the announce table. By the way, the table didn't break. Reigns does break the table on the second try. Reigns rolls in, breaks the ref's count. Reigns tries a spear. McIntyre kicks him, and Reigns does manage the spear after all. Reigns goes for another one, but runs into a Claymore kick, falls out of the ring in the process. Jey Uso runs down McIntyre, knocks him off the apron. Reigns gives McIntyre a blow, and Jey hits a super kick. Reigns follows this up with another Superman punch, like the fourth one in the match, and applies a guillotine. New ref runs in, and there is a passed out McIntyre here. It's fine, but Roman Reigns is not the guy that I'd be putting over in this position. And then we have 35 minutes of The Undertaker being, I guess, regarded with everybody entering with their own entrance. Shane McMahon, Big Show, JBL, Jeff Hardy, Mick Foley, Godfather, The Godwin, Savio Vega, Rikishi, Kevin Nash, Booker T, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Triple H, and Kane, wearing his complete Kane outfit. They all come out, and they're basically there to pay tribute to The Undertaker. Michael Cole, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but actually did very, very well as he runs down the history that they have with The Undertaker. Vince McMahon's in the ring, and McMahon talked about Undertaker going back to the WWF days, now WWE. Undertaker's legacy would live on in eternity. He introduces The Undertaker. Taker has his full entrance. He comes out in his full attire, and he gets raised up to the ring level. He hits the ring, this whole entrance takes well over 7 minutes. Undertaker chants begin to be piped in. He spoke in his Undertaker voice, and then he basically said it was time for The Undertaker to rest in peace. Goes to a knee, does his pose, and there is a projection of Paul Bearer that appears in front of him. Undertaker chants continue to play, and he gets to his feet, does the throat slash, and his music plays, and then he leaves. I mean, ultimately, did this need to take 35 minutes? No, but for those who were there for the entire Undertaker run like myself, I completely understand why they did it. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.